I see that a few people are on. Can anyone hear me? Excellent, everybody. I see your comments. We're just going to work out what we're going to be saying here. I'm going to go back to being muted. If you have any questions, we are going to have some time to answer questions at the end here. But thank you for hopping on. All right, I see a few more people joining. Thanks for joining. We're still wait till about 12 o'clock here. And after our presentation, which should last about 5 minutes or less, we will stand by and answer any questions that folks have. So we do have our email and phone number in the chat. If you're seeing something, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you, especially any photos. If you're in a safe spot, I'll be able to get some photos of any damages that we might have.
Photos and videos.
Photos and videos. Yeah, send that to the juno.weather email. I'm able to get that.
It's really helpful for us to see stuff like that and to actually have, I guess, proof. So thank you.
All right, we're going to still focus on some stuff. We'll be back. Hey, I see people are joining. We're going to be going here at 12 o'clock, so just stand by. We're just getting our presentation going and making sure our camera and everything works, so we don't have any IT issues. get going here.
All right. Yeah. So through this entire experience, through this entire system, please make sure you're checking back to weather.gov/Juno for all the updates, especially with us seeing thunderstorms coming from the back of this low, because those
Just
will,
wait till 12. We're waiting till 12.
yeah, no,
Okay.
because those are going to pop up and they'll be a little bit more nuanced. So make sure that you're keeping up with the special weather statements that we're putting out and with our website.
Yeah, Shelly, we see your comments there, and we'll touch base on that. But yeah, it's a very narrow band of really strong wind. So we'll hammer down where we're going to see those winds. But yeah, we'll get into that here at 12. Yep, Shelly, you're nailing it. It's the thunderstorms. And for everyone joining, we're going to get going here in 3 minutes. You're seeing us talk right now. We're just discussing the points we're bringing up. We're checking in with operations here. We have a fully staffed office, making sure what we're thinking matches their thoughts and making sure we're all on the same page. So I'm going to go check back in with them real quick. You'll see us talking, but we will get going at 12 o'clock here.
And we get observations coming in pretty frequently for the observation floor. So we're constantly getting new observations, and certain observations come in at certain times. So that's why it's always really important for us to go back and check with operations, make sure that we're still repeating the same message and that there isn't anything that we've missed. So whenever wind gusts come in and higher values and everything, then it's very important for us to know so we can pass that along.
All right, we're going to unmute ourselves and we're going to get going here in about a minute. For everyone that just joined, we've just been talking here, making sure we're on the same page with everything going on. I'm going to pick one person here. Shelly, do we sound okay? Can you hear us?
Or anybody.
Yeah, anybody really. Excellent, sweet.
Cool.
I've been told that I mumble a lot, so I'll try to speak clearly. Sick. All right, we're just going to get going. Well, we should wait until 12. That's 12 o'clock. All right, we're going. So looking at satellite here, this is our low. We can see the cutoff here. It's fully maturing. The area of strongest winds is right here in this area. I'm super laggy, so I'll do my best here to draw, but the area of strongest winds has not reached the inner channels yet. I've noticed we had some comments about the winds aren't increasing, and I think this is really going to be like a hurricane just a few miles north of Craig. Like if you're 20 miles north of Craig, you're probably going to be seeing a little bit less winds. But if you're port protection, these winds are going to shoot up Sumner and really impact this kind of area. If we can all see this, that's going to be the main threat for like 90 knot gusts. So if you're outside that sort of cone there, You might not see those 90 knot gusts, but we're really focused on those small communities, any mariners in that area, to really focus that messaging in. This low is going to continue to track off to the east northeast, probably end up somewhere around here in the next 6 hours or so. So Sitka, you're probably going to see some winds increase as that low moves closer. And so again, we're going to go into that timing a bit more. So from areas north of Craig to Sitka, we're getting some comments that the winds aren't picking up. That, yes, exactly, the winds are not, because the strongest winds are associated with this point in here and also through here. So we're watching that closely. Another thing we're seeing, we're getting a lot of comments on blue skies down here in Ketchikan, Southern Prince of Wales, Metlakatla. That's expected. We had the main front move through, and now we're in this post-frontal convective environment. When we say convective, we mean thunderstorms. And again, like this morning, we're highlighting the gusty wind threat. So maybe not seeing that like 90, 80, 70 knot gust, but thinking like, productive thunderstorm, being able to bring a 40 to 50 knot gust to you through the afternoon. So the message for folks down in the south near Dixon, Metlakatla, Ketchikan, Southern Prince of Wales is don't get complacent. There's still some thunderstorms out through here. We can see this popcorn. Those are continue to track off to the northeast. No.
1201.
At 12:01, our computers restart every day. They log off. 1 second, I'm coming back. This is a national IT thing. All right, can you guys still hear us? This happens every day at 12:01.
Should be good.
We should be good. I see myself talking. Excellent. Okay. Sorry. At 12:01 every day, our computers do a national security logout. So, fun. Yeah, and so here's the winds right now. The max winds we've seen so far, these are max wind gusts in miles per hour. So this isn't knots. We're seeing across the southern, 60, 62 miles an hour for some land-based areas in our buoys down in the south, 60 miles an hour. Again, though, the strongest winds for northern Prince of Wales and Cape Decision, they haven't arrived yet. They're still coming. So that's what we're really focusing on. We can see the Marine Exchange site. We have these really strong southeasterly winds. And now they're getting these gusty flow. But again, that low is going to make landfall. We expect those winds to increase. Zoe will talk about that timing. That's all I have for right now for that current setup. And really, we're focusing this area. That's where those winds are. And Zoe's going to touch up on that timing.
Yeah, so you've all seen this graphic before, but we're keeping it updated for as the system comes through. So now that it's around noon, then we're seeing the low is reaching offshore. It's just offshore along the eastern coast, and around 1 p.m. is when we're seeing that low will reach Sitka Sound, and that'll just be right offshore. But as you saw with Andy's arrows, that low is supposed to jump onshore right over that area. So that's when Sitka will probably start seeing the more gusty winds. And so that's going to be around hurricane force winds. So that'll be where you see the highest 62 plus knot winds. So that can be even higher. That can, as you were saying, be up to 90 miles an hour, which will be
and that's not so much
by, that'll be helped by funneled through the channels. So
Southern Baranof, Sumner Strait, Chatham, that's those 90 knot gusts. Sitka might not be as high, but still going to be concerning up there.
And there will be areas that will see higher gusts versus lower gusts. As you know, Southeast Alaska is filled with microclimates and lots of mountains. And so those higher elevation areas might feel those winds a little bit harder. So if you're living in a higher elevation area, just be prepared for potentially even stronger winds than down maybe in the town. But yeah, so then once that low really starts to jump inland, that's when we're going to see a prominent wind switch. So right now the winds are really coming up from the southeast, and so they're going to really switch to the southwest as that low starts to turn and makes it over the panhandle. And so in the next few hours, it will continue to move that way, and that's going to really funnel those winds right up the channel. So that's going to make it very strong, right going through the channels and then up southern Chatham into even up to Northern Chatham and into Frederick Sound. And so around 4 p.m., a few hours later, that's when we're going to see that low make it into the into the central panhandle. And so the winds won't be as strong as that low makes it all the way up there. It's going to start to decrease, but it will still be very impactful winds, around 55 knots and maybe even more. There's I forget the range of storm force, but it's
it's 55 knots greater. That's storm force.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And so that's going to continue to impact parts of the southern panhandle and the outer coast, and then that's also going to reach up towards the central panhandle. So that's once that low really jumps onshore, the positioning of the winds will help to continue and push those all the way up towards the central panhandle and up towards the north. And so that's going to continue for the next few hours from there. And once those winds begin to decrease, that will be around later afternoon, evening time, and we'll start seeing the winds decreasing down south and then moving up towards the central panhandle as that low continues to move. And so those are going to weaken from around the storm force winds of around 55 knots to down to still strong gales or just gale force winds, which is still very impactful winds. So it's still something to be looking out for and to not be complacent with.
Yeah, and so 7 p.m. we're going to see storm force winds really start to back off, but that doesn't mean we're not going to see 34 to 45 knot winds. Like Stevens Passage could be particularly intense, like Frederick Sound. So by and large, winds are going to start decreasing tonight, and then by tomorrow morning, so Saturday the 27th, should be a little better. But we're really, like, right now is game time. We're in that area of the highest wind threat from now until about 4 p.m., and then concerns slowly drop off here.
Yeah, so even though the highest wind threat will be around from 1 to 4 p.m. and it will start to decrease after that, it's still going to be very strong, even from 4 to 7, and then after 7, still very strong. So it's something that, especially in specific areas, you'll feel it a little bit stronger than others. So it's definitely something to keep looking out for and to keep checking for updates on our website. And we'll keep posting updates on social media as well.
And the surfer in me is going to take over here because ocean waves are very, very passionate for. So one thing we forgot to really touch base on this morning is the significant wave heights. Along the coast, 35 feet, really, really impressive wave energy coming towards Prince of Wales. This is very unusual for September. There's likely going to be some 40-foot wave heights in there. Again, we're looking at significant wave heights. This is the highest 1/3. The max potential seas for 35 feet, it could be as high as 70 feet for that 1 out of 1,000 waves. One concerning factor is the ability for these southwesterly seas to move up the inner channels. So like Sumner Strait and Chatham, you could see 20 to 25 foot fresh seas moving up there. And so right now we're seeing these seas increase. We're looking at the Canadian buoys, North Nomad. They're jumping up. And so just because you're somewhere safe doesn't mean that seas aren't going to come through there. So Sumner Strait is one area I'm particularly focused on for 25-foot seas pushing up, just with that fetch moving through. So Zoe, you want to tell us what we have coming out after the storm?
Sure, yeah. So weather is looking pretty benign for a fall pattern coming after this. So we're still going to see rain, which is typical, but Friday is the main impact. The main impact will be this hurricane force low. And then after that, things are going to calm down a lot more. We're still going to see rain. We're still going to see cloudy weather, but and our normal fall systems, but it will be more, a lot more chill than this. And this
pretty typical.
Yeah, this system is definitely not typical for this time of year or just in general for this area. So that's kind of what we're going off of. This is a lot stronger than what we would typically see.
All right. Thanks, everyone. It's been a really busy day. Definitely some scattered thoughts on my part, but if anyone has any questions, please let us know. We're moving into that time frame of most concern, and so the next 3 hours for sure we'll be telling and really focusing on this area and watching it as it moves through. We have some special marine warnings out. We don't issue those too frequently, so please check weather.gov/Juneau for latest information. Stay tuned there. That's the most official source to get information. We're trying to stay on top of social media. We have a lot of comments coming our way, and it's hard to it's hard to push out information when we have so many warnings and threats out there. So please check weather.gov/Juneau. We'll stay online here for any questions or comments. We really appreciate folks joining and the ability to connect with people in these small communities that we don't hear from a lot. So,
yeah, and especially those small communities where we might not have working observations anymore. That would be something that hearing from you and from receiving pictures, videos, even just words from those people really helps us to kind of get an idea of what's happening in those areas that might not have the best coverage. And especially down south right now, since we're seeing all those thunderstorms, which is why we had initially issued the special marine warning. Thunderstorms like that, the impacts aren't necessarily the biggest impacts aren't necessarily the thunder and the lightning, but more so the fact that it is a convective shower. So this would be moving over the area much quicker, and that would bring I can answer that in a sec. That would bring gustier winds and also heavier rains in that specific time that the shower is moving over. And so that's why it might be blue skies right now, and it might seem like it'll be okay and you can go outside again, but those showers will come in very quickly and they can catch you off guard. So be careful. And so what I mean by not having observations in those certain areas anymore is just because in Southeast Alaska, everything, all of the terrain is a little bit difficult to work with. And so we have a lot of observation sites throughout the Panhandle, but as you know, the Panhandle is huge in the grand scheme of things. So this is the only forecasting office that we have in Southeast area. And so when an observation site goes down or breaks, which happens a lot since every winter we get some pretty rough weather, snow and ice and all things like that. Those can very easily get impacted. So that's something that we are always trying to fix, but and we actually have sent someone out to Klawock right now to try to fix our wind sensor down there, but that is why we're not getting wind observations directly from the Klawock airport right now. So there's a lot of observations, even our most important ones, like for our airports and in our bigger areas and bigger villages, even those sometimes will go out. So that's not something that we it's not something that we want to happen, and we always will try to get those fixed and back up. But there's only so much we can do with our staffing.
We have quite a few sites that are out, but we're limited on having a boat full of our technicians go out to Five Fingers, Cape Spencer. It's dangerous for us to go out there and try to fix those sites. But if you guys have any questions for where you can get observations and things like that, please email us. We really rely heavily on the satellite-derived winds. That is our bread and butter. That is very important to us. So,
and also, I saw what you said, Shelly, in the chat. We do actually have relationships with people in the out in the field who are just interested in weather, and they become a weather spotter for us, or they can get involved through activities such as CocoRa's. So those are really important things that you should definitely email the office about, because that is we rely very heavily on our spotters sometimes, and it's very important for us to have that connection in places where we might not have observations like that.
All right, we're going to head back. We got a lot of work to do. Please check Juneau, the weather.gov/Juneau for the most official information. Pay attention. Don't get complacent. The strong winds are coming. So if anyone in Sitka has any observations, please email us. We're talking with a few people up there. Fantastic to hear from. So thanks, everyone, for joining. We'll head back and touch base later.